We are live. We're back. We had a day off and we're all feeling nice and refreshed. And yeah, this is nice, isn't it? We missed you last night. It was weird not coming on and talking to you lot. I know a lot of you missed us as well, which was pretty heartwarming. We had a lot of messages in saying, "What are you doing? You can't close the pub. What am I going to do without it?" and things like that. So yeah, thank you very much to everyone that sent us a message, sharing the love and everything. We're all rested, we're all refreshed, we're all back. We've got loads of new plans in place. We've got a whole weekly schedule now of kind of people that are going to be coming in doing the masterclasses every week. We're pretty much full on the masterclasses now, which is super exciting. So it means we can kind of have guests in for the masterclass and we can kind of develop those things over time. And like new kind of yoga class that we're starting that's going to be taking you right from the basics right the way through, kind of teaching you different techniques and everything. And the same for most of the classes, to be honest. We're looking at trying to get weekly hosts in so that we can do this thing on a rolling basis. And we're gonna, like we said the other day, we want to keep this thing going. We sort of hit the 2 week point where it was things got a little bit crazy, but we've stopped. We've had a day off. We've closed the pub for one night of deep cleaning, as we said, and it's allowed us just 24 hours to sit down, have a look at it, put some structure in place, and we're feeling a lot more organised with stuff now. So yeah, it's good. It's exciting. We're now set up to carry this thing on into the future, and yeah, potentially even kind of, I guess, carry it on after the lockdown's finished. If you're joining me, please do leave a comment down below. Let me know where in the world you're tuning in from. Big up Butler, first comment in as always. Yeah, let me know where you're tuning in from in the world. If you're tuning in from just around the corner, we want to hear from you. But if you're tuning in from all the way on the other side of the planet, we want to hear from you as well. And everywhere in between. We've got an amazing masterclass coming up for you now. We've got Joe Rossi Graham sat backstage at the moment, just about to go live with his self-sufficiency and gardening show. The show's obviously been inherited. Rossi's been setting up a lot of stuff today for you. There's some really cool ideas there, and there's some really valuable information. So yeah, stick around for that. It's going to be awesome. Yeah, just letting a couple more people come in. I know there's been a few people that said they wanted to see this show, so I'm just waffling on for a second while people are tuning in. But yeah, I'll do the little bit of housekeeping that we always do, which is if you know anybody that wants to watch this and they are not on Facebook, then you can hit that link there. As long as you're on Facebook, you can see that comment, and then you can put that comment to somebody that's not on Facebook and say, hey, watch this on YouTube, put it up on your smart TV on the wall, do whatever you need to do. We're also now streaming live on Instagram, because I literally about 10 minutes ago found a little hack, a little app thing that allows us to stream out to Instagram as well. So if you're watching on Instagram, big you lot up. Thank you very much for joining us. Yeah, I think that's about all the housekeeping we need to do. I can see you lot rolling in now. Thanks for joining us. Hi, Michelle. Hello, Butler. Thank you guys for joining us. Okay, so instead of me waffling on, I'm going to get to the juice of the show. I'm going to bring on our guest, or our masterclass host, let's call him, our expert. Ladies and gentlemen, in the comments, and me, just by myself, I'm going to clap and make some atmosphere and bring in a man like Rossi Graham. Hello, mate.
What up? How's it going?
Yeah, good, man. How you doing?
I'm not bad. No, not bad at all. Yeah, we got it set up. We've got a few cool things to do today, and it's going to be weekly. We're going to be growing in real time, just so to speak.
Yeah,
so
sick.
In a week's time, the stuff we planned today should be up, and we can see sort of real time progress with that as well.
Nice. That'd be awesome. Yeah, it'd be good for everyone to kind of see the development of the stuff that you're doing and kind of see literally it grow over time.
Yeah, it'll be growing in a week, in 2 weeks, and it's stuff that we can do even in the next few weeks while we're still locked down, and you can be harvesting in 10 days, essentially. That's the whole point.
Sick. Okay, cool. I'm definitely going to do the stuff that we kind of go over, because I planted a load of stuff out today, mainly kind of stuff, longer term stuff, because I thought the longer I leave it, the longer it's not in the ground, the longer it's not going to be growing for. So I thought I'd do all my kind of root veg and everything, get it in the ground as soon as possible. And then, but there's a load of other stuff that I want to kind of do in things like sprouting and that sort of stuff that we spoke about earlier. So I think, yeah, I'm gonna watch the show from backstage, and I'm gonna be taking notes, and I'm gonna do a load of the stuff myself, definitely.
Brilliant. Well, gardening full stop is short-term and long-term gains. You know, it doesn't matter within a property where you're renting or if you're going to be in a place where you bought it and you intend to be there for 10, 20 years, in which case you can plant fruit trees, whatever. But we're focusing right now on stuff that you can be harvesting in 10 days, 2 weeks, 60 days, and we're going to
Awesome.
go from that.
Sweet, man. Well,
Okay.
I'm gonna hand over. I'm gonna let you do your thing. Thank you so much for joining us. Thanks for putting so much prep into it. I know it's
Perfect.
going to
Thank
be a
you.
good
Thank you for
show.
having me on.
Ladies and gentlemen, in the comments, one more
No
time,
problem.
show loads of emojis, and we're gonna hand over to a man like Rossi Graham. Nice one, man.
Perfect, perfect. Okay, so let's just go into this. Little background. My background is organic farming, so sustainable horticulture. Same difference, basically, just a different way of putting it. My profession, I'm a full-time chef. I've worked all over the bay and all over the local area. And urban agriculture sounds crazy fancy. It sounds this and that. Really, it just means growing in an urban setting. That could be a city farm, that could be in your garden. And the main thing for this stuff, it could be if you don't have a garden, you can grow it on your windowsill, or just if you can got enough space for a few pots on a patio, then this is what we're going to do today. So why would you even grow your own food? So food security, what we've seen over the past few weeks is no food on the shelves. In our lifetime, none of us have seen that. It's craziness. It's absolutely wild. But obviously, the supermarkets have been brilliant on getting the food on the shelves again, which is really cool. But either way, we should all be making some attempt to try and grow some of our own food, even if it's just for the therapeutic aspect of it. It's organic, it's not been sprayed with anything. So that's what I'm going to do today. So today we're going to look at some little things you can do to make yourself a bit more self-reliant. And we're going to start with cupboard store foods today. So you might have various different things in your cupboards in terms of your food stores. Rather than seeds that you go and buy in a garden centre or in a supermarket, you're going to get these in the food aisle, in the dried whole foods aisle. So some of these are soaked, and we're going to do a few different things today. We're going to do how to sprout, how to do microgreens, and how to do cresses, and we'll go through and define a few terms as we go. So just to sort of start with, these are some lentil microgreens that these are 10 days old, so you can be harvesting this in 10 days, and realistically it's going to cost you no money. You might need a bit of soil. If it's going to be for cresset, for bean sprouts, don't need any soil. I mean, not everyone will have wheatgrass, but I happen to have wheatgrass in my cupboard, so I managed to do some wheatgrass. So again, really good cheap greens, all organic. It's not sprayed with anything. So let's start. We'll define a few terms. So the main ones you have are soaks, sprouts, cress, microgreens, and then you'd have full greens you're going to grow to the full size, so macro greens. So a soak is anything where you would literally soak it overnight, and you can reduce the cooking time or eat it raw. So all of these, we've got some just straight up dried peas here, nothing fancy, a pound in the food aisle. We've got some green lentils here as well. Same thing, just straight up. Oh, these are mung beans actually, not green lentils. So I'm just trying to find the camera with those, but they've just been soaked for a few hours before Sam got in touch. And here as well, just some brown lentils been soaked for a few hours or overnight. So we'll start with soaks. So to sort of give you some background on it, plants can't run away to stop predators. All they can do is produce chemicals or anti-nutrients to stop them being predated. So by soaking them, what you're doing is you're actually ridding some of those anti-nutrients. So it'll essentially makes them more digestible and therefore more nutritious. So we've got a little mix here. The first one we're going to go through is to do some sprouts. Now, I've got some water here. So this is just a mix of some different sprouting things, so some lentils, some mung. I add some alfalfa, a few other bits in here. And you could literally just pour the water into this, and then you'll soak it overnight. And then what you're going to do is drain all the water off once a day, keep them somewhere nice and cool, even temperature. A couple of days in, they're going to start to grow little tails and they'll start to sprout. As long as you rinse them once a day, they'll turn into essentially bean sprouts like you buy from the supermarket, but much fresher. They've not been sprayed with any kind of preservatives or pesticides or anything weird. and you're gaining that control about the food that you're taking in. Now, a little hack I did come across, or just sort of hit me, someone's probably done it before. I've seen a different way of sprouting today with someone else, and I was like, wow, that's cool, but this is the way I've been doing it recently, is take a standard protein shaker that has a little mesh, you know, one of the cheaper ones, bam, in. There you go, water on top. And because it's already got a mesh, there we go. All you're going to do is soak that overnight, and then once a day, drain all the water off, fresh water, and then within 2 to 3 days, you'll get your bean sprouts, and you can grow them onto whatever size you want. If you want them for like little salady bits, you might keep them a bit smaller. If you want to cook them out, you go a bit bigger, like a bean sprout you buy from the shop. Now, in the spirit of all of this kind of victory garden kind of stuff, and I was actually running a bit low on trays. Essentially, is the main thing. Is I just took some little soy milk pots, cut the tops off, bit of compost, just normal multi-purpose compost inside, and we're going to use these to grow our microgreens essentially. So we're going to do pea shoots. I've got some mung and I've got some brown lentils. I've got some wheatgrass, but we're going to do. I've only got 3 pots. So it's as simple as you've got your little soaked peas over the top. You can put them in really quite densely because you're not going to grow them. You're only going to grow them to this size, you know, or to whatever your desired height is. So I've actually got some mature ones that are a bit over, but it's a good example. So these are a few weeks old. So, you know, they're not as fresh as they could be, but they're still perfectly edible. But oh well, it's food for free. You know, you see pea shoots and microgreens in kind of high-end restaurants or better places and stuff, and it's really common now to have it. Usually they're in little punnets, and most of the time when they come in, they're in good shape, and all the nutrition's gone because you want to be cutting them and then eating them rather than, you know, and there's no food miles on them either. So let's do some of these. So this one with the pea shoots, you could put some soil over that, or you could just literally take a piece of card, just cover it up, put it somewhere out of direct sunlight, and then when your little shoots start to develop, all you have to do is take them off and green them up. We'll put some soil on those a bit later on, but we'll just leave them chilling for now. Okay, so same with these. Just got the green lentils as well. I mean the mung beans, and you can really plant these really dense, and they're really just really good greens. And if you know that they've not been sprayed. There we go, since that one as well. Now you could put a bit of compost on these, or you could just leave it and wait for them to sprout, and they'll perfectly just shoot roots out and shoot your greens out. You won't have to do anything more to that. It's super low maintenance. What you're getting is maximum output for real little input. So these green lentils, 10 days time, you're going to get this. And if you do a double tray of this, you know, you're looking at about 600 or 700 grams of greens, which per you know, for your inputs and outputs, it's actually quite a large yield. Okay, so you've got some mature greens here as well, some mature sprouts, which is the ones we've done in the protein shaker. These are a little bit older now again because I was, oh god, I haven't got any, and I thought, well, I need some for this demo today. But you know, these are still perfectly edible. We look at that, it's just a big mass of just greens. They're packed with protein and loads of nutrients. The main thing with stuff like this, it's full of raw enzymes because it's living food. So it's, you know, it's still going, it's still in process. It's not, you know, it's not traveled. And you know, you could stir fry that, or you could just throw it for a salad. You know, that's a big one there. Okay, so we move on. So let's talk about what can you actually sprout. So if you're going to sprout them for the bean sprouts, they're going to have to be from the food store aisle. They're going to have to be ones that they're considered food grade, because if they're from a seed shop, or you know, from a garden center, they might have been sprayed with a fungicide or something, So if you get them from the Whole Foods aisle in the supermarket, they won't have anything iffy sprayed on them or any fungicides that will make them, yeah. But if you're going to grow them to this size, if you're going to grow them as greens, doesn't matter. You're not going to eat the seed. You're only going to eat the foliage. So there you go. So let's list through. And so essentially, for sprouting and for microgreens, chickpeas are good. Any type of lentils, really, just not red lentils, because they're split red lentils, and split peas don't work either because the actual seed itself has been split in half. Aduki beans, which are little kind of red beans and black beans, I think you can sprout. I don't sprout them. I've not had good experiences with them, but you can sprout them. Buckwheat sprouts, quinoa sprouts. Quinoa has all kinds of saponins and all kinds of crazy compounds in it, so you want to really rinse them a lot. And sometimes stuff like that can be a bit slimy. It's not, there's nothing wrong with it. It's just that's what they produce. And the same with buckwheat. Buckwheat can get a bit slimy, but that's just how they are. There's other ones like broccoli for sprouting, and they look like they're going moldy, but it's not. It's just they produce all these little root hairs. Onion seeds, even fenugreek, radish seeds if you've got them. But I know getting hold of this kind of stuff is difficult. But for the microgreens, coriander will sprout. But let's go through that. So it's entirely up to you. Some people don't get on with quinoa sprouts, but they can disagree with some people. But this is more, well, let's grow some of our own stuff. Let's have some fun with it. The therapeutic aspects of gardening have been proven that it really has all these extra, there's all these other gains that you can get from gardening in terms of just the satisfaction. We've all got more time in our hands than we usually would. Okay, so onto some sort of macro greens, because while this is all growing, this is ready to crop. This is ready to crop in terms of all the, the little trays of stuff. And so then we're going to go on to the macro greens. So I've got some little sort of Italian kales here and things like that. They're super easy to grow. This is about 30 days, and I'll be cropping this in 20 days. I'll be able to pick individual leaves off it for whether it's baby leaf salads or for frying greens. Another one for your macros, and this is a very good crop in sort of permaculture and stuff like that as well, because you can eat pretty much every aspect. These are nasturtium. So the Latin on that is Tripalum majus. So the leaves are peppery, a bit like watercress or like rocket. They make really nice edible flowers that, people pay tons of money to buy them in little punnets somehow, but and they produce the seeds you can actually pickle as well and salt like capers. They're called poor man's capers. So, I'm probably harvesting these, I don't know, I'll be harvesting that in about 30 days. So you've got to think about it's a succession from, you can have a crop in a week, and then by that time, all your other stuff is going to slowly kick off. And come midsummer, you're going to have all sorts of stuff going on. Now, back to what you can cook in your, from what's sort of knocking around in your fridge is the main thing. Now, these, it's just a straight up garlic clove, but most people just throw these away. Now, this is pretty much ready to plant because it's already growing. It's already doing its own thing. So I've got a little tray here already set up, and it's just watered. It's watered. The soil's pressed quite firm. When you're planting and stuff, you want it to be really heavy. Not heavy, not sodden, but you want it to feel really heavy. I've got like a little lollipop stick. I'll just go and plant it on here. And all you're going to do is make little indents. And take your little guy and just tuck that little baby into bed. Now, garlic is a pretty, it's a pretty long game kind of thing. It's not like the quickest thing to grow, but well, we've got time. It's free. I had them knocking around, so let's just do it. I've never really done garlic at home. I've done garlic on farms, and it will grow, I think, fairly well at this time of year. But that's that. I mean, it's just, you were going to throw these away anyway. That's the main thing. You were just gonna dump them. Apparently the little green bit gives you heartburn. I've never had that, but a lot of people say that's why you don't eat it. Or they just think it's unattractive. They'll chuck a bit more soil in it. Now these are they're just gonna do their thing. I just thought, why not? So a bit of soil in there. Just tuck them in. You can press the soil down quite firm. And it's just, this was all stuff that's just kind of hanging around the house. I wouldn't have thought I'd had time to really garden this year. I thought I had quite a busy year ahead of me, work-wise, but obviously that changes. So yeah, that'll just sit around. This will get some height on it in a few days. A couple of weeks, this will gain some height. And yeah, it's food. You don't have to go and buy kind of top organic seed. It was just straight normal garlic out of the fridge. So we've got a few other bits. So this one's a mixed tray I did. It's not doing kind of great, but either way, it's all perfectly edible. So we've got a few little kales here that were just for microgreens. Got some little red chards as well, and just whatever was knocking about. So if you've got seeds and lettuce seeds and stuff that were in your garden, from maybe you were growing a little bit last year, you grew some lettuces or some radishes, just throw a load in a mixed tray. See what happens. Sometimes different mixes work out well, others don't. And you'll see, sometimes like these pea shoots are kind of taken over. But if you start cutting all these at this sort of height, what it's going to do is, if you take all those tops off, you're going to have all this growth left for what's growing underneath it. So you're getting that 2-tier. So rather than having 2 trays, you're just going to have, a tray in succession, that kind of different things growing at different times, and utilizing the companion planting of that. So you can grow stuff that's tall and thin with stuff that grows spreading on the ground in a tray, or the stuff that grows quite flat. Other than that, we've got a few bits, a few little onions and stuff. It's been a weird, it's still been pretty cold. So you've got some more kales here and things. Just trying to show you the camera. Some more chards, but this kind of stuff will crop all through the summer pretty much, and when it gets crazy hot, then it'll just bolt and it won't be any good anymore. It'll be tough and woody. Got some little spring onions and some little lettuces that they're not doing great, but oh well, that's the fun of gardening. Sometimes you do fantastic, other times you're just sort of getting by. We've got some little tomatoes here, again, not doing fantastic, but who doesn't want tomatoes in the summer, and some basil. But yeah, it's more taking that sort of food sovereignty back and not being reliant on supermarkets for every aspect of your produce, and having some of those greens that you can take control of, and you're getting taking part in every part of the process. This kind of stuff is also really good to teach kids about food and about growing being normalized as part of your daily life, whether you live in a flat with a windowsill or whether you're in you have lucky to have quite a nice large sized garden. But you don't have to do loads of work. You can just kind of grow a few bits. If you're not feeling it, you can just grow a small amount of things, just for fun. But these little trays and little soy milk cartons, you'll be harvesting this in 10 days. So we'll just get a bit of soil on these. Actually, I would have cut these down a bit more, but I just thought it's just long. Let's see it. It's an experiment. I've never done these before in cartons like this. So yeah, just super easy, and it's really, I don't know, I just find there's so many benefits to the growing aspect that are kind of not related to the actual food you're eating. It's just a really nice way to spend an afternoon. I know some people play Xbox, or they might do this. So you could be scrolling on your phone. Well, surely it's better to just be doing something that's more productive. For me personally, I don't have an Xbox, I don't have a TV or whatever. So I would much rather spend my time doing this. So I'm kind of done for the minute. So yeah, I'll hand back over to Sam if you can.
I'm here, baby.
Yeah, no worries.
How you doing?
All good, man. All good.
Good, mate. That was incredible. Really enjoyed it. It was really peaceful to watch.
Gardening's pretty ambient anyway, isn't it? It's like,
yeah, man.
Really kind of zen.
Yeah, definitely. I got a couple of questions just for my own stuff, if that's all right.
Hit me up.
So the stuff that I've planted that I've left outside, should I be bringing it in the evenings? Should it be outside? When does it need to be outside? That sort of thing.
I'm at the moment everything because I'm bringing everything in every night,
Right.
because it's just been kind of cold. It's been like hitting like 3 degrees of an evening, and it's just that little bit too cold. Also, it's been a bit wet here and there. So the main thing with us being in the UK is the slugs above anything. So if you're putting little plants out, the slugs are just going to hammer them. And
Okay.
it's just so punishing. It's just so upsetting. You know, even my mum sent me a video earlier, and it was, you know, something had been in their pots and their courgettes, and it just basically like taken them all off at the stem, and she could just pull them all off, and they were just gone, just decimate. So all that work overnight is just done because you've left them out.
Is there
So
anything
if
you
you
can do
have the
to
space to bring them in,
Yeah, cool. Is
Yeah,
there anything you can do
you
to
could,
avoid slugs kind of naturally without kind of sprays and that type of thing?
eggshells are really good. Crushed eggshells, coffee grounds. They hate coffee grounds for
Right.
some reason. It's just abrasive. They just don't like it. Or you can cut the top off just a normal plastic Coke bottle and just stick it over the top of a young plant until it gets a bit bigger.
Okay.
So yeah, there's all kinds of things. But in terms of temperature wise, this is just a really funny time of year because we don't know whether it's going to be 20 plus degrees outside or whether it's going to drop and we're going to get a late frost. You just don't know. But you could do all that work and caring for these little babies, and then you could overnight you could just, you know, half of your crop could be just absolutely decimated.
What's the kind of lowest temperatures that we want to keep an eye out for in terms of leaving stuff outside?
Just ground frost pretty much. But if it's things that are, you know, are hot weather stuff like tomatoes or, you know, peppers, stuff that would typically grow in much hotter climates, you want to be bringing that in. If it's even going to be a bit of a chilly night, you just want to bring that in until they're more mature and they can take it a bit better. Another one to look out for is wind as well. If you've got kind of, I suppose, sort of plants that are, you know, they're still quite tender, they can get something called wind rock. So they just, you know, it's been blown around too much and it will just kind of flop over and not really come back up, which is a bummer. Like, you know, because, yeah, you've kind of invested
Yeah.
in these little guys.
There's a question in the comments saying, is it okay to leave them out if they're in a poly shelter or a polytunnel?
But yeah, anything you can do to cover them up.
We're losing you a little bit, I think, on the signal. Ooh.
Yeah, if they're under, you know, under some kind of poly or a polytunnel, then yeah, maybe also fleece as well. Like you can cover them with sort of horticultural fleece. Some things are more tolerant to cold than others. Oh,
I think there's a huge delay going on. There's quite a few comments coming in the questions. Maybe what we should do is get you to jump onto the video as soon as it goes live on Facebook in a minute. I'll send you the link to it and we can answer the questions retrospectively once the feed's over. I think we're pretty much losing you on signal now, so I'm just going to drop you.
It's big.
Yeah, cool. I said that about 30 seconds ago. So I'm going to drop Rossi out for now. Ladies and gentlemen, in the comments, if you enjoyed that as much as I did, please do a load of emojis and say thank you to Rossi, because I thought that was incredible. And like I said, nice and peaceful to watch. Nice thing to do on a Tuesday afternoon, just sit and watch Rossi doing his planting and everything. So yeah, thanks for joining us. That was one of our new weekly masterclasses. So that's going to be next Tuesday, 4 p.m. We're going to be running this one again. And as Rossi said, we're going to be checking in with the plants and on kind of on a weekly basis and watching them grow. And that's nice, isn't it? Just seeing the plants grow on a weekly basis, let alone it's presented by an absolute legend. So yeah, I think we've got a cool new show on our hands there. So thank you so much for joining us. We're back live again tonight at 8 o'clock. We got more incredible music coming your way. We've got more masterclasses coming 4 p.m. every day and live shows at 8 p.m. every night. So yeah, stick with us here at the Virtual Pub. We've had a day's rest. We've got things organised and we're very much back on track. So thank you so much, you guys. We'll catch you soon. Oh, and if you've got any more questions for Rossi, still keep putting them in the comments after the video's finished. I'll get Rossi to jump on and to answer them kind of in the comments so he can speak to you on there. Thanks so much for joining us, guys. See you tonight, 8 o'clock. Peace.